V Fire from the Cosplay Stitch and Seam, and
I'm Hat. What?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you. I've been practicing that all day. Also,
Oh my gosh,
I'm not Link. I'm David. Hi.
it'd be amazing. But we do have a link on here, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a moment. Yes. So,
if you have a really great Link impersonation, where can they send that impersonation? Fire.
Oh my gosh, if somebody sent one, I will listen. Yes, they can send that to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or go to the website and fill out one of our contact forms at cosplaystitchandseam.com, or
go to the Facebook page. And while you're on the Facebook page, join our fantastic Work in Progress Wednesdays, our Finish Fridays, or whatever you want to show us you're working on. We love to see our community continue to grow. We have such an awesome group of people that we get to communicate with, and we're really lucky to do that. If you're not a big fan of Facebook, I totally get that. I don't want to be on there half the time. So we have a Discord. You can find the link on our website, and we have a fantastic group. People are talking about food, their cosplay crafting buddies, just pictures of cats, dogs, babies, little creatures that they get to cuddle with while they're working on whatever the project that they've got.
I have a stuffed bee.
You have a stuffed. You also have multiple Bulbasaur. Bulbasaurs?
Yes, I do. Bulbasaurs, yes. Bulbasaur.
While you're on the internet, if you want to help the show, there are many different ways to do that. Share the podcast with a friend. Leave a review wherever your podcasting app lets you. That helps the AI shine light upon us. And, we like the AI liking us.
Worship the AI gods.
And if you have a few bucks, only if you have a few bucks spare, if you want to help keep the lights on, we do have a coffee, KFI Cosplay Stitch, as well as a Patreon, patreon.com/cosplay stitch. For $3 a month, you give it a shout out every single month. And for $5 a month, you can join our
Horror Stories.
Oh, shoot. I did the wrong one. Oh, no. I reorganized things.
Cosplay Chronicles.
Oh, God. Egg on my face. We'd lose Pannon one day because she has some prior engagements, and it all goes down the drain. We need Pannon. Pannon, we miss you.
Pannon, we're flailing without you.
And we can't make as clean as transitions unless we have Pannon here. But speaking of clean transitions, let's transition into Fox Beauty Cosmetics. If you want some not animal tested, all the safe products that we highly recommend, that I use as frequently as I can, foxbeautycosmetics.store. When their store's up and running, grab it while you can. It is a great place to get your stuff. Mercedes, what are we talking about today? In fact, who are we talking with today?
Oh, so much good stuff here. Okay, by the time this episode airs, Tears of the Kingdom will be out, and we will all be, non-existent anymore, because we will be in the kingdom again. But we are talking about Legend of Zelda, and we have a guest on with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself, the legendary...
Hello there. I go as Dr. Steggy on the internet. I also go by Jackie. I got into The Legend of Zelda because I've got Breath of the Wild sort of on a whim. I was aware Legend of Zelda was a thing. I knew the water temple was bad, and that's pretty much it. Inside of about an hour, I decided this was a lifestyle. And
absolutely.
From the game, I got into cosplay, and here I am. I'm on Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Instagram as Dr. Steggy _cosplay. I'm Dr. Steggy on pretty much every other platform there is. Instagram's the only one that's different, but I post cosplay stuff to Instagram and TikTok, occasionally Tumblr, and I think that's everywhere I'm at.
Yeah, and that's Dr. Steggy, not Doctor spelled out.
Yes, it's
right?
Dr. Steggy. Yep.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So my first question before we dive into Zelda epicness, why the name Dr. Steggy? I've always been super curious.
Okay. So I was very, very into dinosaurs when I was a kid, and Stegosaurus is my favorite.
Beautiful.
And to make fun of me, kids called me Steggy, and I took it back. Then way back in the dark days of 1997, when I got out of grad school, I went on to America Online, and there already was a Steggy at AOL. So I was like, well, heck, I'm going to be Dr. Steggy at AOL. And that account no longer exists, but the Dr. Steggy's everywhere. There is apparently a character from a Nickelodeon show that's by the same name, but I spell it with 2 G's and they spell it with 1.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Neat.
So what was your very first and foremost like Zelda game?
Oh, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I had a brief I had a job once upon a time in 2000 where for a week my boss and another person talked about the Ocarina of Time at we had rounds every morning, and every morning for a week they talked about the Ocarina of Time, and I was like, this can't be normal. This game's been out for a couple of years. Why would you still be talking about this? I can't believe this is going on. I really feel like I need to go back and apologize to all those people. Because they were talking about it, and I was like, they made a sequel to The Legend of Zelda, and they looked at me like I was an idiot. And I was like, okay, but I got a Switch in the fall of 2018 because I was Pokemon curious. And the Pokemon game wasn't supposed to come out until November, and I had bought Mario Kart with the Switch, and for some reason they didn't ship together, so the game was going to arrive a week after my console. I was like, well, this is stupid. So I was like, I want to play with this because it sets up in 2 seconds. And I went on to Facebook and whined at my friends about what should I do. And several of them said, you should get Breath of the Wild because there's really good horses in it and you would really like the horses. And I was like, okay. So I went to GameStop and bought Breath of the Wild. And the horses are great. They really are really great. Somebody who really knows horses well did the horses in that game. But the rest of it's great too. And I proceeded to just fall into a Hyrule shaped hole for until here we are 6 years later, 5 years later, still doing the Zelda stuff, probably getting deeper every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you gone back and played other games?
I have. So we did have a Wii prior to this, and we played a lot of Mario Kart on the Wii. So I played Twilight Princess on the Wii. I have Wind Waker, which I started and haven't gotten too far into. I did do Skyward Sword. Started it on the Wii, but finished it when they announced it for Switch. I just was like, I'll just do it there.
Yeah.
I played Minish Cap on one of the Nintendo Switch Online has Minish Cap, and I played that. I'm about halfway through a Link Between Worlds, but I do not think that's going to get finished in the next 12 hours. So I'll probably deal with that. I'll probably just restart that game because it's gonna be a long time before I get back to. I've also played a good chunk of Ocarina of Time and a good chunk of Link's Awakening, but I've hit points in those games, but I just don't have the dexterity to get past a boss. So I rage quit them, and then periodically I should go back and try again, and I hit the same point. I'm like, no, can't do this.
I remember playing Ocarina of Time. I was playing on an emulator, and emulators at the time, they were all keyboard controlled.
Oh, God.
So you're playing an N64 game on a keyboard, and you don't have that same level of dexterity for manual aiming on the bow and arrow.
Oh.
And I think it's the water temple, but you have to shoot an arrow through this tiny slot, and the sensitivity was just so perfect that it would go from the bottom bar to the top bar over and over and over again. And I had to figure out how to change the sensitivity, and it was all or nothing, right? So it was either that, or it was you breathe on the key, and then you're now looking at the ceiling from the floor. And the thing is you couldn't just adjust that on the fly and then just jump back into the game. You had to find a save point, close the game, change the setting, and then get back in. So I ran through majority of the water temple with my visual settings insanely high.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds ridiculous. ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
I would have cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you are doing a bunch of Zelda-themed cosplays, a lot of Links.
Yeah.
Is there like a Link cosplay that like has specifically like you've drawn to, or a specific prop or an outfit that you absolutely love?
So I'm really, really drawn to the Link in Breath of the Wild, and most of that's probably 90% of what I do. I dabbled with Zelda from that game because the royal gown is pretty.
Mhm.
But that character really, really speaks to me.
Mhm.
You know, you wake up and you have no idea who you are, and everybody's telling you, "Oh, you did all this great stuff," but it's like somebody else did all that great stuff. And I am in a profession where they install the imposter syndrome your first year of school,
Mhm.
and then really drill it home during your entire career. So I think that's what really that's why I really latch onto him in particular.
Mhm.
I believe in general what I kind of like about the Zelda games is it's a lot of, puzzle solving, and sometimes out of the box puzzle solving, which is also kind of my job. So I think, I think that's why I kind of get really hooked into the games in general through that. But Breath of the Wild was my first, and I've been kind of tweaking that version of Link the whole time. And like I'll get it done. I'll be like, okay, it's done for now, but then I'll find something else I can do better, or I want to do better because it's some little detail that's driving me and absolutely nobody else bananas.
And he's got
Um,
so many outfits, so there's
he's got
like
so many
plenty of
outfits.
choices.
Right. He's got so many outfits. And I'm kind of I just started to learn to sew really in the past year. Because I had been doing everything by hand. I finally got a machine, and I'm like, okay, I
Oh.
would really like to make the Royal Guard outfit. I think that would be banging. I would like to do
Dude,
that.
that's on my list.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Let's be royal guards together. Let's do
It is
it.
so good.
Yeah.
But yeah. But everybody's like, oh, you should be the princess. And I'm like, oh heck no. I am not the princess. Have you met me? Like, that's not gonna do.
So Link is actually one of my first cosplays. Not like the first cosplay that I did, but one of my first.
Mm.
And like I've said before, I'm surprised my husband like stuck around with me because he dropped me off to my first convention while I was wearing Link, while like poorly binding myself because I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, why'd you keep hanging around this person? Because like we'd only gone like on a couple dates, and I was like, will you give me a ride? But like, yeah, the connection with Link, it's like I have like only like the past couple of years like really started doing more female based cosplays, but like Link just resonates with me. Like my first game was Twilight Princess, actually. I had technically dabbled in Ocarina of Time, but growing up, like video games were kind of limited in the house.
Yeah.
So I just like glanced at it at my friend's house and, oohed and awed from it about it from there. But yeah, Twilight Princess was the first one that I was like, I am getting this game. I'm getting it for my console. I need to play it right now. And just the story was so good, and I just gobbled it all up from there.
That one's a lot of fun too. There are a lot of fun boss fights in that game. Like I finished that one about a year ago, and I'm sitting here going, I should replay that one. That was fun. Like I had a good time.
I will go and
playing that one.
replay. I will replay that whole game for two major reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The number one reason being I love Xant's boss fight. That is my favorite boss fight ever. Two, it's stupid, but I love sumo wrestling the Gorons, and they needed to make that a mini game.
So when I was like kind of like scrambling around on Tumblr going, certainly people make fan art about this game, I stumbled across a picture of Link in the Twilight Princess Link in the sumo gear, and I sat there and went, this feels unnecessarily thirsty. And then I got to the game and went, oh, that was a screenshot redraw. But yeah, my favorite fight out of that game is the dragon in the City of the Sky. That is
Oh,
a
yeah.
cool fight. Oh my gosh. And
That
I
is-
figured out how to
that
do
one's
that
ton
one
of
on
fun.
my own. And it was just, I felt really smart because I learned how to, I beat it without having to consult anything.
Yeah.
Gosh, I would love something like that in Tears of the Kingdom. Like, come on, riding on the back of a dragon, smashing at it with the sword. How cool is that?
It's like, come on.
Come on.
Yes.
Awesome.
All the feels, all the feels. So
Yeah.
out of all the games that you've played, who is your favorite like guide character?
Oh, that is a great question. It's funny because, again, I played Breath of the Wild and people were like, God, it's such a lonely game. You're by yourself. And I'm like, it's kind of like that. That's
I
kind of
love it.
cool.
It's so good.
I love that a lot. I actually didn't find Navi as annoying as everybody told me she'd be.
Same. I feel the same.
I did not find her irritating. When I was playing Skyward Sword on the Wii, Fi interrupting me every 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I know. I'm good. I got this. And so, like, her being a little less invasive on the Switch was really good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, her telling me that my Wiimote is like dying, and I'm like, I know, I'm playing until it's dead. Okay.
I know. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm good. Or you get done with signing something and like, oh yeah, actually you should be doing this. I'm like, could have used this information 5 minutes ago. Where were you? This is not helpful. Midna I had a little bit of a love-hate with because in the beginning she's so mean. Like she pulls on your ear all the time and I'm like, that's not nice. But over the course of the game, I liked her better, but this beginning I was just like, I just don't like her. She's just mean.
I love the character growth they put in her.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's a lot of characters that you start out with, like, that they put through really good arcs, like Groose in Skyward Sword. That's a fantastic arc. He goes from really being a jerk to really being great.
I cried at the end of Twilight because that arc with Midna is just so well done, and like the reveal at the end where you just everything, it just feels like you won, and it's so bittersweet because it's like, but at what cost? You're losing this person that like you've started this relationship with of at first tolerating out of necessity, and then realizing, oh, we're allies, we're friends, we've been through it together. You have war stories now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So good. These games are just so good.
Midna's definitely like my favorite. But coming in, okay, Navi would be second. Third, I'm gonna say is Linebeck, from the Nintendo DS. This one was the first Zelda game that I played twice. Well, okay, second Zelda game I played twice because Twilight Princess I played the crap out of over and over again. But I really love Phantom Hourglass. I know a lot of people rag on it, but like, I don't know. I like it a lot. And Linebeck is awesome.
Yeah, I haven't played that one yet.
I would agree with Dr. Say that like I love being alone. Like I think there is something really nice about not being told what to do or by some other being, because like I just finished God of War not too long ago, and there is a lot of maybe we should freeze that. Oh, maybe we don't have that tool right now. Oh, wait, are we going in the right direction? No, we're not. I'm exploring. Let me have this.
That would drive me bananas. Like I like to sometimes I just get on my horse and go ride on the beach at sunset. Like that's very satisfying for me. Like maybe I'll pick a fight, maybe I won't, but like maybe I'll just... I had somebody tell me I play Breath of the Wild like it's a dating simulator, and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe, but it's fun.
Yeah, there's no wrong way in playing Breath of the Wild.
There's no wrong way to do it.
Yeah. I want to talk about props and weapons. You have made some fantastic props. From what I've seen, is there a medium that you really like working with when you're making something? Foam. Heck yeah, person after my own heart.
Yeah, well, because when I started getting into this, I was like, I don't know how to sew, and I was kind of like, okay, so I come to this from my other weird. I have a lot of weird hobbies. Cosplay is not even the weirdest thing I do, but I come to this. I am a an avid collector and shower of model horses.
Okay.
And the thing I particularly enjoy doing is what we call performance showing. And basically it's you're taking your scale model horse and you're dressing it up in saddle, bridle, harness, whatever, setting it up in a diorama with props according to whatever the class specifications are. You have 10 minutes to set it up. It gets judged on how accurate it is. Everything's in scale. Everything's set up to the way it should be. Is it clever? Does it pull things together? There's a bunch of stuff. So that's kind of where I come from.
Mhm.
And I made a lot of my props and stuff for that for a while until I kind of got like into the upper levels of things and I just needed to buy stuff from other people. So
Mm.
I kind of, when I first got into cosplay, I was like, okay, so this is a little bit like performance showing in that you can kind of mix and match stuff that you've made versus stuff that you've bought. People aren't going to, yell at you because you didn't make everything. It was okay to do that. So, and I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
could start with props. Like, I think the first thing I made was actually a shield because that's pretty easy to do.
Mhm.
And I started out with crummy foam. and eventually kind of learned how to use it. And, people in this hobby are really, really open about like, I can walk into, I feel like almost any space and be like, I'm trying to do this. How should I do it? And people will have a bunch of different ideas and I can kind of pick and choose about what makes sense to me, what I have on hand. So, I've made stuff with other people's patterns. I've done Rivali's bow using a pattern from, I'm going to forget his name, Give Wave Studio, which he does.
Ooh.
He does fantastic he does stuff as kits where you can buy all the foam pre-cut and then put it
Yeah.
together. Or he'll sell you the pattern. And he's always got a video on YouTube showing you in great detail how to put things back together. So I've made that bow twice. First time I made it, I scaled the pattern incorrectly and it was so ridiculously huge. I was like, I can't believe this is how big this is. No, it's not. It was way oversized. So I made it the size. It was as tall as me. I was like, this is insane.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I made it to the size it should be. And it's really cool. It's a little bit of a pain to bring places, but it's fun to take photos in your basement with it. I've done a couple other shields. I made my first sword, which was the busted up master sword. Just finished that recently. Like
It's
putting
so
that
beautiful.
together. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so proud of that sword.
You should be.
Like
Yeah,
making that particular sword was super intimidating because it was like, if you don't nail it how it looks, like it's just not going to work. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll do the damaged one because this way I don't have to worry about the blade being perfectly straight because it's going to be, a third of what it should be anyhow.
Mhm.
And I had to I ended up having to sculpt all the almost the entire hilt because the way I was trying to pattern it wasn't really working. So I did that out of foam clay. And there were a couple times I was like, I don't know how this is going to, I don't know how this is working. And it came out. I'm so happy with it. It really just, I'm pleased with this sword a whole lot. Like I've gone to 2 cons, last 2 weekends I was at cons. And the best part of the con was ripping that sword out of the scabbard on my back in front of people because every time I did it, people lost their minds. It was
Yeah.
it was so good. So that was exciting. I have to remake my sheath because I want to set magnets into it so it's easier to like put shields on and off my back. Right now everything hangs correctly, but it hangs with leather straps. So if I have to take something off, I have to like undo everything. And it's just not, I can't just clip stuff through things, which is a problem.
Yeah. You got to have a good exit strategy on some of these things.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I think I'm really looking, like, one of the things I'm looking forward to doing is like redoing my shield with like some magnets in it so I can like fuse stupid things to the front of it. Like, I think that would be so fun.
Yes.
Good
Like,
idea.
I'm gonna find
Love
the
it.
dumbest possible thing I can stick to my shield, and that's what I'm going to do.
Oh my gosh.
Excellent.
Right?
I'm all for it.
How fun is that?
I want a shield on top of a shield, but they're like obviously like very skewed from each other. So it's like barely hanging on and it's just
Oh Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about how much
Oh.
I'm going to just mess around in this game and not do the main quest. I can't even tell you.
Yeah. What is the thing you're looking forward to most
like-
in the new game?
Oh gosh. God, that last trailer was so exciting.
So exciting.
I'm looking at all these like, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get game overed by that.
Mhm.
Like, that's gonna be great. I'm super excited to like, because I probably have 1,000 hours into Breath of the Wild. I know the map
Nice.
really, really well.
Nice.
You can drop me anywhere, and I'll be like, okay, I know where we're going, and here's how we're gonna get there. So I'm very excited to see what's different, because I know it's the same surface map, but it's going to be, I know it's also going to be different because I've already seen things that are different in some of the trailers. Like, what is that thing? That's not in Breath of the
it's like
Wild. I'm going to go check that out.
it's like part of the
Yeah.
ground's been ripped up. It's like things are different.
Yeah. Things are different, but but I'm like, so it'll be like going back to your old neighborhood after 15 years and going like, oh yeah, this is great. Like I know where I am, but everything's different.
Yeah. One of the old dating myself. Harry Potter games, when those came out, you have the original first game, which was super memeable. Such terrible graphics, Hagrid's face, booyah. But they remade the first one, and it used almost the same castle map as the second game. And it was just really cool, like, when I went to go play it. Like, I mean, it's going backwards in time because it's the first game, and the second game did it first. But
yeah,
it was just a really cool way of, like, having it be familiar but different. And just... I love it when games do that. Like, it's very fun, and it's a good way to, like, just throw a twist on things and upend expectations, because, like, you're like, oh, I know Hyrule. I've actually been playing the geocaching game where it's like lostgamer.io for anyone who wants to try it. You pick a video game. I'm doing Breath of the Wild, and it just places you in a random place. You can look around and see if you can guess where it is. And it's super fun. I was 6 meters off from one of the spots. 6 meters off.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like a fun challenge.
Yeah, it's super fun. That's how I've been, like, kind of tiding myself over while I wait, because I can't, like, play the game while I'm at work, but I can play this while I'm at work.
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm excited just to have, like, new places to explore, things to do. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm excited by whatever's going on up above. I don't have any inkling of what the story actually is. Like, I saw the gameplay trailer, and they were like, here's the new abilities you have, and I was just like, I cannot wait to just make things and do stupid stuff, and like, I don't even care what the story is. I'm like, I can't wait to just go in the sandbox and mess around. It's gonna be great.
Are you a big, like, trailer watcher? Like, you like to watch trailers as they're coming out, or do you try to avoid them at all cost?
So I thought about that, because I went into Breath of the Wild just about completely blind. And my first play of that game was just so amazing. Like, if I could ever just do one thing over again, it would be to play Breath of the Wild for the first time, because it was
my gosh.
Yeah, it was because it was just so. That game came to me at a time that I had a very bad time in my life, and really kind of helped me get through it in part.
Sure.
So it's a big deal. But what I decided I would do for this would be to watch whatever official stuff they put out. I have so far remained spoiler free, and it's 10:30 on Wednesday night for me right now. And I got a call from GameStop earlier saying that my pre-order will be ready at 9:00 tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
They're doing a midnight release, and I'm dressing up for that.
Like, you're gonna look so cool.
I'm just gonna show up, because I'm sure that I'm sure they see me and they're like, oh gosh, her kids must really love Legend of Zelda. Yeah, no, that's all me, buddy.
It's all me.
Yeah, I know, that's all me. So I'm very excited to do that too. And I forget what question I was trying to answer here.
Trailers.
Trailers, yeah. So I did watch the trailers as they came out, and have rewatched them several times. Because I figured if it was official stuff, Nintendo wasn't going to spoil me on anything big.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Nintendo's really good about that, especially with the Zelda series. Like, I feel like most of the trailers for their games evoke more emotions than it does, like, here's what the story is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that final trailer. I'm so excited about that final trailer. Because it's just, I don't know, it just looks great. I can't wait. Soon. I can't wait.
So when I think a lot about like The Legend of Zelda, I oftentimes like to think about how it's this broad expansion of like exploring. I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto who was like, it was all about going through caves when I was a kid and discovering new things that I may not have looked at a time beforehand. Do you have that kind of same like childhood wonderment, like when you were younger, of like, what's down here? I've never been here before. Or were you an
yes.
inside kid?
Yeah. No. So I was a horse kid. One. I didn't have my own horse, but I was, I was a barn rat for a long period of time. So I was outside a lot.
Mhm.
And when I wasn't at the barn where we lived, kind of the woods backed up to our backyard. So I like to kind of go walking around out there and, flip over rocks and flip over logs and look for critters and, climb on rocks and, and yeah, I guess I never really thought of it like that before, but but yeah, so I out in the woods a lot. Not so much anymore. I'm a lot older. I creak a lot more.
I crack and my students go, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
That's age. It's fine. It's fine.
It'll happen to you.
You'll figure it out.
One kid goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I promise."
It's supposed to happen. It's okay.
I don't want it to.
Yeah, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a millennial. I love canceled plans, and if that means canceled everything, I'm okay with it.
Well, I mean, again, why I like Breath of the Wild, because everybody leaves you alone. Okay, so like in March of 2020, all my friends got into Animal Crossing, and I bought Animal Crossing because I had FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it a real chore to have to talk to my little neighbors, and do my little chore. I would like walk, I would like, oh my God, I have to walk all the way across my stupid little island. And then 5 minutes later be like, you know what? I'm going to march all the way from the Gerudo Desert to Hebra on foot.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to enjoy that. And I was like, and then finally one of my friends was like, you don't like Animal Crossing. You can stop.
That sounds like some masochism to me. I'm just gonna walk across the entirety of the map.
But that's how you find stuff. You can like walk around and be like, what's that? I haven't seen that before. Let's go over there. The whole game is like, I'm gonna do this, and then you're like completely in a different place than you intended to when you sat down.
Yep, that's totally fair.
So in our one of our previous episodes, we talk about the music in Legend of Zelda. So I want to know, like, what is your favorite, like, tune or like song, one that just resonated with you, and just like, what's your favorite one?
Oh, Song of Storms.
Oh, good choice.
Sorry, the music in Ocarina of Time is so good. So good. There's so many good. I love the Song of Time too. And like there's so many good remixes of those songs that you can just find, and all of them are great. But Song of Storms is fantastic.
Such a great one.
So good.
I don't think that enough people are talking about the Gerudo Valley song.
Oh no, that's also very, very good. Like when I am driving my car, like I have to watch it because I really want to go fast during that song.
If you're gonna code a song, don't do that one. It has too many notes. I was challenged to do that, and I had many regrets. I made a spooky version of it though. I remixed it into a spooky version. It's not great, but it exists.
Nice. Is there a cosplay or a character that you have seen that you're like, ooh, I would love to do that one day, or maybe even a prop, like, oh, I would love to do the royal halberds that they had.
Well, okay, so I do want to do the Royal Guard outfit, and I normally like, gosh, I'm trying to think because the stuff I normally the equipment I usually roll with in the game, I usually, if the Master Sword is not available to me, I use the Royal Broadsword, the one-handed one, because it's a decent sword. I like a one-handed swinger in the game.
Mhm.
I would like to make one of those. I'd like to make the Royal Guard shield. And I want to make the Yiga clan bow, that because it's really cool. I have the stuff to make it. I just have to like figure it out. It's so cool looking. And I'm like, I could just make that from a piece of PVC. That would be super easy and less fussy than my Great Eagle bow. So I could hang that on my back and it would be fine all day, and it wouldn't be falling apart on me.
And then put magnets on it to stick to your shield.
Put magnets on it to stick it onto everything. Just gonna stick everything together with magnets. It's a marvelous idea. But there's so many good props in the game too, because I'm always kind of like, I want to make that. I want to make all the Gerudo shields. They're so pretty. Why would
they're so shiny and so pretty. Well, I love the Zora weapons. They're just so elegant.
Oh, they're so elegant.
Oh.
Yeah, I am kind of working on the Hylian soldier armor. I've kind of got that like started and then hit a point where I'm like, my skills aren't quite here yet, but I think they are. And my ultimate plan for that is to build the helmet of that onto an actual like riding helmet. So that I can actually put that on, get on a horse and actually, ride for real with it. I think that would be really cool.
That would be so cool.
I have lots of friends who will enable me with horses. So that would be fun.
Now, I've been seeing on your Instagram that you've been doing like 10 days of Zelda stuff. Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, so somebody else kind of like put up like, like a countdown meme for Tears of the Kingdom. That person's name is Moondrop Atelier. So I was like, I'm going to do this. It's only 10 days. I can do that. So yeah, that's what I've been kind of just doing that to, hype myself along.
Nice.
Nice.
It's been fun. It's been fun thinking about what my answers are to those questions.
Like what's your favorite like monster or weapon? And I found it. Cutscene, game, an art or project, theory, song. Ooh, can I get your theory?
Let me see if I remember. Oh, well, my theory is they wanted you to play Skyward Sword before this game came out. Okay. My thinking is the whole thing is a loop.
Oh, I love it.
The whole thing is a loop. That's why they wanted you to play Skyward Sword. They wanted you to remind you of all the stuff going on up in the sky and all that. Skyward Sword as a game frustrates me because there's parts of it I'm like, oh, I really like this, but it's so linear that it's like, I don't want to do this part. I just want to do the other part, and you can't do that. But the story in it is so great. Like just the story by itself is fantastic, and it's it's supposed to be the beginning of the whole cycle and all of that. So I think it's gonna loop. That's my crazy theory.
I love it. I love that theory. I think it's breaking the loop. I think that's. I think that's
also good. That's also good
because there was it's Demise. Demise is the bad guy name. Like he's the one who sets the curse into place. And it's all trying to get to that point. And I think it's going to be all of these like dragon. Like we've got a lot of these like dragon imagery in some of the trailers.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're they're I was talking about this with Pan in our little team chat, and about how like in specific translations they talk about the goddesses who created the Triforce, and then there was also in certain higher beings they say gods and not goddesses, meaning that there's more of a pantheon.
Yeah,
and with that pantheon meaning like the only higher beings that know of this pantheon are like the Deku Tree and the dragons and these bigger entities that are closer. And I think we're going to see like the Zonai, who are these bigger entities, mess with the gods in some capacity and break the chain finally.
Oh, that would also be. So I write fanfic too, and like all these ideas are like, oh my god, that'd be so great. If they don't do that, we'll just run with it on our own. Like,
yeah, you submitted some fan fiction to the podcast,
Yeah.
and that was great stuff. I loved reading that for the podcast. It was 10 out of 10, dude.
oh, thank
Such
you, man.
good stuff. Such good stuff.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, we could probably talk all night long. Now we did before we hit record, we talked about if you had any horror stories that you wanted to share. So our audience doesn't think that we're just skipping over your horror story.
Yeah,
but you said you were good, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I kind of got into this in the fall of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just in time for everything to kind of like stop.
Yeah.
So I had to learn. So I learned a lot of like, you know, as a super baby cosplayer, like going like, okay, well, I have to learn how to use TikTok and I had to learn how to use Instagram. And kind of by the time cons got back in the swing of things, I was, you know, I was a lot more organized than I was the first con I went to. So I did kind of skip that, you know, gosh, I just didn't think of this because I'm a novice or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm now probably setting myself up for something
Knock on
horrendous at the next thing I go to.
You're jinxing yourself.
Yeah, I'm jinxing myself. But yeah, like I talk about the model horses, like I did that for, you know, or still doing that for like 40 years. So I've had a lot of opportunities to kind of mess things up in all sorts of ways and learn from that.
Well, I'm glad that you've been able to learn from everyone else's mistakes and make sure that you're keeping yourself safe, to say the least.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll jump into our Discord for a
horror stories. Spooky, spooky, spooky.
Makes me want to do a dance every single time.
I was just doing one too.
This one comes from our Discord from Beck the Noir. She writes, cosplay horror story to remind everyone that comfortable shoes are a must. In December, I cosplayed Odagaron armor from Monster Hunter to Holiday Matsuri. My black boots were uncomfortable, and I knew that before wearing them to this con, but I didn't really realize the full damage they would do. After being in a cosplay for about 6 hours, unable to sit, I changed into casual clothes. Upon taking my shoes and socks off, I saw both my big toenails. Content warning, skip ahead. Had split down the middle horizontally.
Ow!
I wore slippers pretty much the rest of the weekend, but I'm over a month out and have this weird bump on my toenails where the initial break was, and one toenail is bruised to hell and back with no signs of going away. I thought I had learned my lesson after having to bandage my feet at Hallmatch 2021 for the whole weekend, but I guess I haven't quite yet. And included a picture of said armor. It looks great, but yeah, we got to get better shoes. We got to get better shoes for you, dude. That is oof.
Yeah. Oh.
Oof.
Oh
my gosh.
You're always on your feet too. You never have a chance to really sit down when you're at a con, right?
Yeah, not really. Depends on the con, but not really.
Yeah, depends on the con, but like, dang. And it's a great costume. I don't know if it's worth that kind of pain though, but thank you. And if you want to submit your horror story, where can they go, VFire?
Hang on, I'm still recovering from that. Ow! Ow! I have very sensitive feet, and so just like thinking about that, I'm like,
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's good. It's good. I got it. I'm good. I've had surgery on my feet before, so when I stub my toes, it hurts extra.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. My poor dad caught me one time where I stubbed my toe on the stairs, and I was trying not to breathe in the hallway. And he goes, "What happened?" And that's when he learned that I cuss. Okay. Yes. So yeah, if you want to share your stories, you can go to, you can email us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or you can go to our website and fill out our contact form there at cosplaystitchandseam.com, or
go to the Facebook page. Tell us what you're working on. Join our fantastic community of other people who are working on cosplays. Also, join our Discord. We've got a fantastic community. Dr. Steggy shows up and says hi and shows us some of the great work that they're working on. She is so good about giving feedback as well. I've seen some of the things that like everybody's talking about, and she's always ready to like, oh yeah, love this, love that, maybe try that. So supportive. And of course, we want to thank our fantastic Patreon people. We have introducing Delayed Cosplay, welcome. Cynthia Eve Cosplay, Starfetcher, Mace, Tim Yoke, Wanderboy Cosplay, Trough Cos, Lydia, Rose Does, Yggdrasil, Dr. Steggy, hey, that's you, Cynics, Hot Riku, Rena Mira, Jazzy Kofed, Jaguar Quinn, Gloria Shu, Sudi, and Silver Deeds.
Oh, yeah.
And one more time, Jackie, where can people find you?
So I can be found on Instagram as Dr. Steggy _cosplay. I'm on TikTok as Dr. Steggy. I'm on pretty much every other platform on the face of the earth as Dr. Steggy. If you're super interested in little plastic horses, I do co-host my own podcast, which is called Mares in Black.
Oh my gosh, I love that name so much.
We were recording an episode of that last night. We try to come out every 2 weeks or so, but my co-host and I have crazy jobs, so sometimes our recording schedule's at the mercy of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Excellent.
Please, dear listener, go out and check out Dr. Steggy stuff. Consistent quality across the board.
Gosh.
Pat on your back, my dude, because you constantly, anytime that I see you on Instagram, I'm like, heck yeah, that's so cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Now, normally this is where Panon would say thanks to these people, so I'll just take that. Thanks, Macy Roberts, for our music, and thanks to me, the ineffable editor.
I was wondering what you were going to do when you got there. I was like, hang on a second.
And
yes, thank you, David.
You're welcome. Thank you. Pat on my own back for my editing. If you do want to check out any of my things, you can go to Comic Trades Monthly, where we talk about your favorite comic book collection in a book club format. And Last Voice Season 3 is just around the corner, and I'm very excited to share that with everybody. Can I be real with you guys for just a brief moment? I was concerned that this episode might not happen because I found out Ganon is on the internet, and that might break some things. Do you guys want to know why?
I'm afraid to ask.
Ganon hates the internet because there are too many links. Okay, bye guys!
Bye!
I'm so used to Panon starting. Hang on.
My dude.
I got this. Hi guys. That's where we start. Okay, got it. Why am I nervous?
I don't know, man.
Okay. I got it.
Okay.